Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ad-Din wa Nasiha. Religion is sincerity and honesty, is what our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. And I was talking about how we should be sincere and honest with ourselves. Do I pray to show off? Do I fast so that people will call me pious? Do I go to the mosque so that people will recognize me? Do I go and wear a cloak or a cloth or a jalabiya or a big massive thobe or my hijab or my jilbab to show off to the world that I am actually pious? What is the reason for what I do? Do I give charity so that people will call me generous? Do I go to Hajj so that I will be known as a Hajji or all the other titles that will come with it? My brothers and sisters, those are the ones that will nullify our actions. If we are honest and sincere, we do it for Allah. Being honest and sincere with Allah is very important. Remember, with Allah is very important. Allah knows what is in our heart. He's Allamul Ghuyub. He knows even all the knowledge and the signs of unseen. Of course He does. Not a small particle, a small leaf, or an invisible living creature moves, even at the bottom of the ocean. And Allah doesn't know, that doesn't exist. Allah knows it all. He knows what is in our heart. If I am praying and if my prayer is for show off, Allah knows. Of course He does. And when you do that, Allah doesn't like that. As I said, pretentious people is hated by the world. And pretentious actions are also not accepted, and certainly isn't accepted by Allah. Pretentiousness is what destroys us. Pretentiousness is what creates hatred and animosity. You know, I meet many pretentious people in the world. Those who try and flatter you every time they see you, they're not being honest with you. Oh, you're the best thing. Oh, I remember one brother once, this brother had a bad habit of every time he sees me, he would say, oh, it's so good to see you. We should meet again. And you know what? He never calls, never meets. So once he saw me and I stopped him and I said to him, please don't say that again. It's not very good to see me. And you're never going to see me again, that's for sure. Because what do you mean? I said, you're being pretentious. It's become a second habit. You just say it. You just say it. It's cheap. Be sincere. Be honest with Allah, with your actions, with your words. If you're going to go to Hajj, you're going for Allah. If you're going to get married, you're getting married for Allah. Rasulullah said, whoever makes enemy for the sake of Allah, whoever loves for the sake of Allah, whoever hates for the sake of Allah, they have actually completed their iman. And this may sound contradictory to people, but we must understand our intention must be based on sincerity and honesty, otherwise our action is rather invalid. So being sincere with Allah, sincere with ourselves, sincere with the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There are people who think they're following the Prophet by just growing a long beard and wearing a longer labiyah and wearing a turban. They think this is it. You know what, brothers and sisters? The truth is that is nothing to do with the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The true Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his character. He did say, didn't he? إِنِّي بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. I have been sent to perfect the character of people. Character, character, character. If you're going to be truly a follower of the Prophet, being sincere to the Prophet and sincere to following his words, then follow his character. If you want to have a long beard, of course that's your choice. If you want to wear a galabiyah, that's your choice. But don't use that as a cloak, as a pretentious cloak overused to pretend to be religious when in your character you're rotten. My brothers and sisters, I've seen many brothers with no beard but very beautiful in their character. And I've seen many brothers with massive beard and rotten in their character. I've seen many sisters with hijab, terrible in character, and sisters without hijab, amazing in character. And of course, reverse is true. But if you're going to be claiming to be sincere and honest with yourself and with Allah and His Messenger, and you're trying to tell the world that you follow and you're a practicing Muslim, then you need to know it must be done for the right reason. So being sincere with the Prophet of Allah means following his words and action in character. You emulating the Prophet, being like him, kind and gentle, firm for the truth, always steadfast for justice. Never give up, but never, ever intentionally be malicious and harmful to other people. Never be abusive with your tongue or your hand. That's the Prophet of Allah. So being sincere to the Prophet actually means you follow the Prophet like that. Being sincere to the leaders of the world, it means you participate in getting your leadership elected. Or you stand for an office where you can serve the people. But if you're not serving the people and you're being sincere to the leaders, then you advise them when they get it wrong. You just don't become rebellious for no reason, and you just don't create havoc and trouble for them. You listen to your leaders as long as they are just, fair, righteous, and doing what we call due diligence in serving you and me. Sincerity to our leadership and honesty with our leaders means we tell them nicely and politely when they're doing things wrong. And if they're being unjust and unfair, we stand firm and struggle against injustice and unfairness. Being sincere with our leaders doesn't mean we just submit with putting our head down. No, we give them advice. If they don't listen, we organize ourselves. Sincerity in every way is not only important, but is imperative as a believer. Question I have is, how sincere are you with the leaders? Do you take them to tasks? When was the last time you actually wrote to the Prime Minister of our country? When was the last time you wrote to the leaders of the Muslim world or the world at large a letter or an email saying, I am detesting what you have just done. I love what you did. I agree with your policy. I disagree with your policy. Otherwise, we're not being sincere. You know what, brothers and sisters, as I'm speaking to you, what's coming to my mind is Islam is not a passive religion. It's a religion of people who would like to make a difference in the world. And you can't make a difference in the world if you're going to be just a passive bystander. No space for a true believer with that kind of attitude. So sincerity with the leaders of the world, or of your leaders, is that you take part in their election and you account them. Like Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, when he said, when he was in the mosque and he was giving a sermon and he said something wrong. A lady got up and said, "Oh Umar, you're wrong." Such was the Islamic civilization, my brothers and sisters. We've lost it. We've lost it a long time ago because we've become insincere people. We become dishonest people. And when we become insincere and dishonest, people don't like us. No wonder world don't look at Muslims as trustworthy and truthful people anymore. And being sincere to the masses of people around you, being sincere. You know, one of the most hateful things I have is that I don't like people who flatter me, who come to me and say, "Oh, you look so good, you're so wonderful, you're this." I hate that. I don't like that. If they have a genuine feedback to give me and give me appraisal, there is a limit. When they cross from that limit and become flatterers, you know it. You know they're being insincere. You know they've got ulterior motive. In fact, those who flatter you, they are the ones who destroy your character. And our community, I believe, live on, our people in our community, they live on flattery. They love being flattered. That's the type of people you need to be sincere with. Sorry, don't want flattery. With the masses of people, your relationship should be amicable, nice, gentle. Should be based on mutuality, respect, tolerance, generosity, love, acceptance, warmth, compassion, brotherhood, sisterhood. That's the sincerity and honesty Islam requires you and I to have with masses of people, Muslims and non-Muslims. You can't go around saying, I'm not going to be good with the non-Muslims, I'm only going to be good with Muslims, because that is rotten idea. Man ghashana falaysa minna. Our Prophet ﷺ said, whoever cheats isn't part of me. Cheats, opposite to being sincere, opposite to being honest. Cheating makes you and I not the ummah of Muhammad ﷺ. And yet I see too many people cheating. Cheating with the taxman, cheating with their neighbors, cheating with their families, cheating with their children, cheating with their friends, cheating with their mothers, with their fathers, cheating with everybody, and they think they're pious. My brothers and sisters, sincerity and honesty with people around you requires you and I to be truthful, be absolutely transparent, absolutely steadfast, righteous, upright, because otherwise we're not following our religion as it is required. We're making it up as we go along. Ad-din wa nasiha. You may pray 5 times a day and you may have a mark of a sajda on your forehead as big as a plum. But if you're not sincere and honest, that's a wasted effort. If you're not sincere and honest, on the day of judgment, you'll get stuck. So to become sincere is to get rid of that ego. To become sincere is to disconnect yourself from those people who flatter you. To become sincere is to not make up the stories as you go along and not to be pretentious. To be sincere and genuine about. Not to boast and show the world how pious you are. No, that's not sincere. Sincere person is the true believer. Insincere person is a pretentious believer. And pretentious believers are not liked by Allah. My brothers and sisters, let me finish by reminding you what Allah says. Don't say what you don't do. لِمَ تَقُولُونَ مَا لَا تَفْعَلُونَ كَبُرَ مَقْتًا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَن تَقُولُوا مَا لَا تَفْعَلُونَ. In the eyes of Allah, most hateful is that which you say and you don't do. That's also a sign of insincerity. So sincere people do what they say and they do it in the best possible way possible. Best within their capacity. May Allah give us the strength to be able to practice all that we've heard. And more importantly, I hope and I pray you will reflect on character and trait number 8, which is ad-din wa nasiha. Religion is all about sincerity and honesty, and you will try and imbue your life and your family with sincerity and honesty in every way possible. Inshallah, until next time, take care of yourselves. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.